I just beat Resident Evil Village, and I just feel like this felt like talking about it. So first and foremost, I absolutely loved it. It's so fucking good. I just to talk about a few things. Comparing Resident Evil 7 and Resident Evil 8. Obviously, Resident Evil 8 is like the sequel to Resident Evil 7. It does feel much different as far as just set pieces go. I mean, Resident Evil 7, you're in a abandoned house, middle of nowhere, with a southern family that do not look good. It's clearly a bad place to be in, and that alone, that's set everywhere. Everything about that is just much more scarier than the mostly snow-covered areas over here, and more regal-looking buildings and such. Specifically, like castle. I guess there's only one regal-looking place, but the rest still doesn't look as bad as the Resident Evil 7 place that you are fighting in. But the family in this game, the villains, are so cool. I absolutely fucking love them. I think, what is there? You got Dimitrescu. However you say her name.
Tells me it won't involve casual tea time with Lady Dimitrescu.
Dimitrescu. Who would have guessed? Not me. You also had Angie and Benevito, who I am also probably pronouncing wrong. You had, was it Mordau or Mordu? Again, all these names I don't know how to pronounce. Then you also had Heisenberg, who I like a lot. I think he's really cool. I think that seeing their characters in this game and inevitably fighting every one of them is just so cool, and they look so cool. And I personally love every one of their personalities. I think they're great. And especially like this section, I absolutely hated it. It scared the ever-living hell out of me. I also love it, but I hate it. Also want to mention just how gorgeous this game looks. It's so good. It looks so good. I think, especially, Resident Evil 7 came out 2017, I believe. You can definitely easily see a insane improvement. The moment the game starts, I think it looks so good. And maybe it's due to, like, not being in a shitty place. It just looks like shit. But it's just, yeah, it's insane to me how good it is. And going through all these different areas and monster encounters, I think mainly of it, I gotta say, like, the gameplay feels fine. I just say a lot of the attacks of the enemies kind of were easily dodgeable, but maybe I don't remember if that's a normal thing. Resident Evil 7 I felt like was a bit harder, but I mean, I still enjoyed it nonetheless, of course. I cannot gush about family enough. The whole meeting scene when you first see them all together is just so cool to how they interacted with each other. Man, it's just so good. It's so good. I know some people were talking about that the game was feeling too short, which I personally do not see. I think I beat it. The game told me I beat it in like 9 hours and 40 something minutes. Albeit that I'm assuming that also included the times I paused, because there is this fucking scene which I paused a lot. I was scared for my life. But also, I know some people also, again, I already mentioned the enemies kind of felt somewhat easy. A lot of people are saying that just run and then you shoot, but I feel like that's what 7 was too. Maybe I'm misremembering. I played the game like a month ago. I feel like it also was very run around and just shoot things and try not to get hit by things. But maybe that's just me. I don't know. Didn't have a problem with it personally. Want to briefly touch on the the story of this game. Obviously, without spoiling, of course. But, you know, knowing Resident Evil 7 and then going into Resident Evil 8, especially seeing the trailers and seeing how different it is, I was curious to see how intertwined it still might have felt, whether or not it'd just be one character going into another shitty situation. Which it kind of feels like that, but I do think you do get more information, a kind of what's happening. Again, trying not to spoil, but it's super interesting from the get-go. I think the moment the first, was it 5 minutes, I'm already curious why, how, what is happening. I have to play this game all the way through now to figure out what just happened before my eyes. Absolutely invested the whole way through. I do think that, again, without spoiling, the ending felt, I don't know, I felt a little empty at the end. I don't know why, to be honest. Felt a little empty. But I think the whole ride through, from beginning, to the final moments, I was just in. It was so good. I do gotta mention too, as well as the, much different games. The tension that 7 built is definitely much greater than the tension that this game builds. There's one, again, this fucking scene definitely had a lot of tension and fear inside of it, but everything else felt pretty more or less fine. I don't think there's a lot of moments besides some easy jump scares that they kind of do with enemies just popping up out of nowhere that I really got scared in. Just, I don't know if I, call jump scares, it's kind of, kind of cheesy. But I still think going through this game was just such a fun ride. I absolutely was in love with it from the very beginning. I absolutely, it's so good. I keep repeating myself. It's just so good. It's so fucking good. I love it. Also, the main character, Ethan, feels much more as a character in this game, which is crazy to me. I remember people were talking about, like, playing 7 from this game is just so, it feels so weird just because the way Ethan reacted to certain things happening in 7, just, he wasn't reacting at all. It was very minimal reacting. And seeing him actually talk and engage and what's happening to him and him actually saying shit is actually really cool. That's so good. I cannot suck this dick's game enough. Or suck this guy's dick enough. I fucked up. Doesn't matter. Point is seeing the character development of Ethan from 7 to 8. All the fucking characters are fucking great. I enjoyed going through every single boss fights, every single encounter. I think it's definitely seeing the progression to what the story is happening and how it might happen in the future. Because it definitely has maybe not necessarily an open-ended ending, but they can easily go further. And I think it's wonderful. This game looks pretty. I love this game. Thank you for listening. This is it. Alright, before I gotta show this. This is the craziest fucking monster ever. Kind of spoilery, maybe I should have said that before. Doesn't matter. It's super fucking sick. I love it. Anyway, I love it.